Okay, so for this week we have slightly different questions concerning, the research special topics for this week. Something I learned slash found interesting from the week's materials is from one of the PowerPoints. It says keep one ongoing document as you write your paper or write out your drafts. I found that really interesting, and that is incredibly true. I just never heard anyone actually say it or write it down. And that is definitely true. Like, you start out, your rough draft, edit that, and then work it over into your final draft. That is true. I just never really thought much about that point. And something else that I learned was and found interesting, it says don't attempt to cover everything written on your topic. Just basically highlight um, what you think is most relevant to the topic you're talking about. And that actually makes me feel a little better, instead of, because I always find myself wanting to pull in everything there is to know about this topic, but obviously you can't do that. So focus on just the the specifics of your topic. So, like, don't attempt to cover everything, or else you'll drive yourself crazy. And that's very true. Okay, and then my muddiest point in my own research process, a problem I have, a problem I definitely have with writing and researching is, well, one is revising my papers, and being an English major, that's something I have to do, and I don't enjoy that at all. Personally, for me, when I write something, I just write out the draft, proofread a little bit, and then that ends up being my final draft. That's just how I do it. Even though my English professors say writing is revision, I'm not a fan of editing and revising my papers, but I'm taking advanced composition right now, so I'm forced to revise my papers. And I also found that, like, when you revise your papers, you end up writing like a completely different draft. So that kind of like opened my eyes up a little bit, telling and that basically told me that yes, you need to revise, because you could end up writing a much better draft, or like a completely different draft, but it ends up being better than the first draft, than your rough draft that you wrote. And in terms of, well, with my topic, I still need to narrow that down, so that's still kind of a muddy point in my research process. I need to narrow down my topic a little bit. And yeah, so if I have one tip to share with the class in terms of um, setting yourself up to get a good grade on the paper presentation, what would that be? Time management. Space out when you work on stuff. Like, don't wait till the last minute. And if you're like me, you procrastinate, which that's just something I've always done. But no, time management is very important. Just work on it a little bit at a time, and you won't feel as overwhelmed with getting your stuff done. And I know, we work and that sort of thing. I work 4 to 5 days a week, so it's very difficult for me to like manage my time and figure out when I'm going to work on stuff. But I also have like slight OCD and um, and anxiety, so I do wind up, writing down when I need to work on certain things. Sometimes I don't do it because sometimes I just don't want to, but you have to. So time management is definitely important. So, yeah, I think that's everything for this week. Thank you guys, and we'll see you all next week.